I'm Stephanie Rivers. Come on into the conversation. I am multitasking on several platforms. You'll be watching on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn. On whatever platform you're watching, we want to welcome you to the conversation. And if you are new, we want to thank you for your time. And I know you're going to hear something that you want to share. So be sure to like, then share and subscribe so that when I post new videos, you'll be the first to know. And if you are returning, thank you for your support. The subscribers list is growing by the dozens. Thanks again for your time. Now, the criminal justice system is only as fair as the people in charge of it. And the people in charge of it, mostly white men who are politicians and judges, operate not with fairness, but with favoritism. Their agenda is to corral and keep the power for themselves, all the while using everybody else's tax dollars and everybody else's manual labor to support their agenda and their generational wealth, not yours. The latest example is of a shady politician is Texas Governor Greg Abbott. Now, Abbott said that he plans to pardon a man convicted of murder even before the man is sentenced for his crime. So, who is this guy who Abbott wants to pardon so urgently? I'll show you a picture, but I'm going to tell you the story right now. Daniel Perry shot and killed a protester in Austin, Texas in 2020 during the Black Lives Matter rally sparked by George Floyd's modern day lynching. Now, according to news reports, Perry, the convicted man, drove his car near the protest area near downtown Austin when the shooting happened. The man he shot is Garrett Foster. Now, Garrett Foster was open carrying an AK-47, which apparently is legal in Texas. Both Perry and Foster are white men. The crowd surrounded Perry's car as he sat in it, and Perry said that he feared for his life. So Perry then produced a weapon that he had legally and shot Garrett Foster with that gun. And regardless, the jury said the witnesses on the scene said that Garrett Foster never pointed his weapon at Perry, nor did Garrett Foster ever shoot his AK-47 during the incident. Okay. So, regardless of which side that you support, a jury convicted Perry of that 2020 murder just a few days ago in early April. So, but as quickly as the jury announced the guilty verdict, Governor Abbott said that he plans to pardon Perry even before Perry is sentenced. Abbott said he wants to pardon this convict. Why? Well, basically, what Governor Abbott is saying is he's saying, damn the jury's decision, damn the man's family and their quest for justice, and damn the criminal justice process. Essentially, that's what Abbott is saying by pardoning this convict. Abbott disagrees, so he gets to erase the verdict like a number 2 pencil and move on. Another white man who makes decisions that affect others but without explanation, as if he's the daddy and he doesn't need to explain. That's who Governor Greg Abbott is. Now, meanwhile, in Lubbock, another man got a 70-year sentence, 70 sentence last week, just a few days after the Perry guy got convicted. Now, this guy in Lubbock got convicted to 70 years in prison for spitting on a cop who tried to arrest him during a domestic violence incident. His name is Larry Pearson. Now, allegedly, Pearson hit a woman repeatedly in her face, and when the cops showed up to arrest him, Pearson kicked and screamed, and at some point, he either spit at or spit on the cops. Now, while I don't condone Pearson's childlike temper tantrum, Pearson's 70-year prison sentence doesn't fit the crime of spitting on or at a cop. But Governor Abbott ain't running to save this Pearson guy. Now, I wonder why. So now let's take a look at the two newly found convicts. Now, on your left-hand side is Perry, the guy who was convicted of murdering a Black Lives Matter protester. And on the right is last name Pearson, who was convicted of spitting on or at a cop. So I'll let you make your determination as to why Governor Abbott is running to pardon Pearson. I'm sorry, running to pardon Perry, but is ignoring this 70-year prison sentence of Pearson. So I have Pauletta Purvis saying, here we go again, no justice, no peace. And thanks for your comment, Paulette, because a lot of people want us to shut up and be quiet and just go on and just forget. And they might look at Pearson, the Black guy, and say, well, he did hit somebody and he did try to spit on someone. And as I said, I don't condone that. I think that's nasty that you would try to spit on someone. And who's to say whether what he's accused of or was tried for is really what he did. And that's how much people like me and probably you are giving a side eye to what a lot of people in the criminal justice system are saying, because when it comes to it, you don't know what, you can't believe everything that they say. So as one of my, you make the decision as to why you think Governor Abbott ain't running to save the Black man, but he's all over this other guy trying to get him pardoned even before he gets a sentence. As one of my college professors used to say, it's a rhetorical question, make it make sense to you. Now, newsflash, it doesn't make sense at all. And it's another example of why some of us, including myself, don't trust the criminal justice system and most of the people who represent it. Now, I know a lot of good people who are in and were in law enforcement and are who were judges. And I'm sure you do too. But if you ask them and they are honest with their answer, they will admit that it's an uphill battle to make fairness triumph over favoritism. So that's what we're dealing with in Texas, and that's probably what we're dealing with across the country. Last week I was talking to you about, and I'm sure you heard about the Tennessee 2 is what they're calling them. The state legislature in Nashville, Tennessee, voted to kick out 2 Black legislators, but they voted to save the white woman who did the same offense, which was basically protest that the other legislators are not addressing the issue of gun violence, which was the reason they were focusing on that is because of the school shooting that happened in and around the Nashville area, and the legislators are not addressing it, not making any type of changing any or making more stringent gun laws. So people are just getting fed up with just sitting by and letting things happen. And so things like favoritism over fairness are happening all across the country. Now, if Abbott's concerns truly were to show fairness and not favoritism, Abbott would have announced his intentions to pardon the Texas man sentenced to 70 years in prison. So far, no word from Abbott on that. But I'll remind you, Amber Geiger, the former Dallas police officer who went into Botham John's apartment and shot and killed him, only got 10 years. Okay. Derek Chauvin only got 23 years for the on the modern day lynching of George Floyd in Minneapolis. And Aaron Dean, the former Fort Worth cop, only got 12 years for shooting a Tatiana Jeffries in her home in Fort Worth. But a black man who spit on a cop gets 70 years. Where's the justice in that? And while I have your attention, have you ever wondered why so many states are passing laws that allow people to open carry firearms without a license, even in the midst of rising instances of mass shootings? Could it be it's their way of reducing the population by getting us to eliminate each other? If you haven't already, be sure to like, share, and subscribe so that when I post new videos, you'll be the first to know. Now, I was in the gym the other day. I go to the gym, try to work out, try to stay physically fit. I was in the gym the other day, and the conversation turned to weapons and who had what kind of weapons. Now, I wasn't talking. I was listening, but there were a bunch of guys, mostly white guys, and as a matter of fact, all of them were white guys, who were quick to start naming what type of weapons they had, and they even said how they would not have a problem preying on other people to take their food and water and other necessities if they knew those people didn't have weapons to protect themselves during a national emergency. So, fair warning, if you don't have a plan to survive the next crisis, you need to get ready, because some people's plan is to let you do all the work by stocking up your house, and then they're going to come and take your stuff by hook or crook if they think that you don't have a plan to protect your family and yourself. So back to the crooked politicians and judges and the like. I'm saying all this to say that you can't legislate what's in a person's heart, regardless of what kind of laws are in place to create fairness and equity. All it takes is one crooked ass politician or a judge in a position of power to erase that law like a number 2 pencil. Okay. So even if you hope for the best, you need to be prepared for the worst. And whatever that means to you, all I'm saying is get ready and stay ready. To find out more about the things that I care about, you can go to the written version of my journal. That's at eurweb.com. Thanks, and you have a super day.